Independence Day, 1997. We had a pastor that had replaced our original pastor who was an all-around good guy for all intents and purposes. This new guy was hellfire and brimstone and basically a walking caricature of 1980s horror cinema. Think of a stereotype, he lived it. Aside from a couple that made the news. That's probably the one thing he didn't do. For a man of the cloth, he was a real piece of work. Claimed the handicapped were that way because they had angered God. If it happened to be the child of an unmarried couple, it was because the child was born out of wedlock. Goth kids. Forget about it. He damn near had a stroke anytime he came within 5 feet of one. The one thing that absolutely killed me about this guy was that he always had something to say about the previous pastor, and that was never positive. He believed in a vow of poverty and used a beat-up moped to get everywhere. The one thing that absolutely made me check out around this guy was when he had something to say about the previous pastor owning a classic Mercedes. Kept going on about how he was stealing church funds to own that. Meanwhile, my stepfather is friends with the guy, and we know for a fact he bought it at a junkyard and restored it as a way to bond with his two stepsons. And while this guy is talking crap, our previous pastor is going through chemotherapy for pancreatic cancer. Unfortunately, he would lose that battle. Rest in peace, Pastor Ryan. But back to the karmic incident at hand. So, 4th of July, I'm attending a community barbecue as ice cream social. Not much to do in my small town, and that was always a good time. We hear the loud putt-putt and backfire of the pastor's moped, and I can see a group of people collectively rolling their eyes. What we expected to happen happened. He walked around the crowd looking at every person with a can of beer in their hand, people with more than one burger on their plate, non-English speaking minorities having a good time with their family, and proceeded to sermonize them. At this point, the town was pretty well sick of him. And during the fireworks display, somebody in the crowd was playing with Roman candles. A good time all the way around until we hear this loud bang and people start scattering. Somebody accidentally fired a Roman candle in the direction of his moped, completely unaware of the fact that one of the fuel lines were leaking. It cost just enough of a spark to cause the whole thing to go up and the fuel tank to go bang. Thankfully, it was parked away from any structures or vehicles, so no real damage is done, other than to the parking spot itself. But the firefighters on hand took their sweet time putting it out. I wonder why. He was left unable to travel distances that weren't within walking distance. Whenever he would ask any of his parishioners for a ride, they were unsurprisingly too busy. Eventually, he would take the hint. After about a year of this, we had another pastor come into our church. This time around, it was the previous pastor's nephew. He took after his uncle in quite a few ways. He also had his finger on the pulse when it came down to modern social issues, and much like his uncle, never forgot he was human too. But as far as Pastor Seymour, the ass pastor, goes, one can only hope he changed his ways, because he was a complete and total ass clown.